Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing a carving video on this cute little photo frame. It has two colors and a black top coat. It has 5 layers of the orange and 15 layers of the white. I was inspired by some designs I saw on the internet and they were just really simple. The base shape were just some lines. I'm just gonna use my ruler to measure out the correct distances. I think I want the main line to be in the center of the border. So let's measure that out. The border is 2.5 centimeters, or I think about an inch. So that's 25 millimeters. Divided by 2 makes 12.5. So let's mark it there. We need to do that for all the sides. Once we get all those marked out, we can just draw the lines and create our shape. In this case, a square. And now for a second shape, I'm going to draw another square, but this one is going to be in a slightly different angle. This way we're going to create a little bit more interest. I'm just making sure I have enough space in between those corners. So our base shape is now all done, and I really think it looks nice. Let's add some decorations. I was thinking about doing a floral theme, but keeping it really simple. Because I don't want the photo frame to take away from the picture that's going to go inside, I'm going to make sure that my design is symmetrical. This way it's easier on the eyes and less of a distraction. So I'm just going to repeat the same design on all 4 sides. With the design done, it's now time to do some carving. And I'll be using my number 1 blade from Speedball. So where do we want to start with carving? First, let me zoom you in a little bit. Let's just start with one of the branches. I'm going to carve with about medium pressure because I want to carve through the top coat and the 5 layers of orange that are underneath. But I don't want to go too deep into the white because otherwise I might hit the wood. When carving, always carve away from your fingers. And I like to use my index finger to guide the blade. By keeping the pressure and the angle of the blade the same, you will get nice uniform lines. But if you like to give it a little bit more of a playful look, just vary your pressure or your angle, or even both. As you might notice, I'm not following my drawing, I'm just using it as a guideline. And here I decided I liked the look and decided not to add any more leaves. Let me know in the comments if you would have added more leaves. But I really like it like this, so I'm just gonna do the rest. So let's do a little flower together. So I think I want to make the petals orange. And to do so I need to take off the top coat. And because it's just 2 layers, I have to be very careful. And I have to be honest with you, I'm kind of struggling because normally I'm really close to my work with my head, and while filming I cannot do that. So the carving isn't as smooth as it could be. So I'm very sorry about that. So here's the little flower, and I'll just do the other 3 off camera. As you can see, the pattern repeating looks very nice. So let's just continue with that and do the big flowers next. I always start with the outlines first, making sure I keep the pressure even. That way the line will look the same all the way around. When carving, I keep an eye on the tip of my blade, making sure I don't dip the point too far down. Because if you angle the blade too far up, the tips of the blade will dip down underneath the top coat and it gets stuck there, damaging the paint and also your design. But if you don't apply enough pressure, your blade can just slip out of the paint, like so. When this happens, you damage your top coat. That is why I always recommend to keep a little bit of your top coat paint, especially when it's a custom mix. That way when this happens, you can just fix it later. This is also why you try and not put your fingers in front of the blade. Trust me when I say it really hurts. So do as I say and not do as I do. When I start carving without an actual plan, I like to carve down to the first accent color, because if I don't like it, I can always carve deeper. But if you still don't like it in the end, you can always add a color by painting over it. In this case, I think I want to do the petals white with some orange around the center. So we'll just carve the orange first. That way, if I don't like it, I can just carve deeper and go to the white. One of the techniques I also like to use is when I have a small area I want to keep in a certain color. In this case, the orange around the center. I will carve down to that color for the whole area. Of course, making sure you work from the top color down. I will then carve down to the color underneath and leaving the parts I wanted to keep, in this case the orange. This technique makes it a lot easier to create smaller details. So I will be just doing this technique for all the petals for the whole piece. So the bigger flowers are done as well. I think it's time to do the lines. Okay, let me think. Do we want to do them orange or do we want to do them white? So let's start by doing one orange, because we can always carve down to the white. And if I don't like it, I have some orange left over, so I can always paint over it again. So let's just try and make them as straight as possible. Maybe we can do one orange and one white. I think that will look cute. This is also why I carved the details first, because the lines are going in between. So I always carve towards the corner. This way it's easier to make the lines meet up and make it look pretty. As you can see, they meet up very nicely. I think it looks pretty nice. So let's do the second line. Let's think about this. I think I want to go under and over. I'm going to put a little bit more pressure so we carve into the white. And stopping just before I hit the orange line, just like so. And then just start again on the other side. That way we create the illusion the line is going underneath the orange one. And by a happy accident, I also am getting the white line to go underneath the orange flower and the orange line going underneath the white one. So here the white line goes over the orange. It kind of reminds me of a Celtic knot. So it's under, over, and so on. And then we just have to do the little dots and I'll show you the final result. Here it is, finally done. And I really like how it turned out. I even think the small dots look like roses. Do you agree? So if you like to try this for yourself and have any questions, just leave a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But for now, thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye everyone!